Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. It's March 21st, 2024. Great to be with all of you today. My name is Bob Lang, and it's time for our Daily Bites. We bring these to you every Monday and Thursday morning, roughly around 8:30, 8:45 Eastern Time, and talk a little bit about the markets, talk a little bit about the economy, what's been happening lately. Of course, yesterday we had a Fed meeting, and the markets took off right after the policy decision was made. And of course, the Fed met and decided not to raise or cut interest rates. They left the rates the same for the fourth consecutive meeting, and hinted along, much as like Chair Powell did last meeting in January, that the rate cuts are coming. We just don't know when. And the projections that were put out yesterday told us that more likely they're hedging themselves between 2 and 3 rate cuts in 2024. So, but what I thought was interesting is that the committee upgraded GDP for the year of 2024. We're already 2.5 months into the year. They upgraded the economy by 50%. What does that mean? We back in December they had estimated growth in 2024 as being 1.4%. Now they've upgraded up to 2.1 for the whole year. So that's not a surprise, especially coming off of a really strong fourth quarter of 2023, I think more than 4%. And so I've seen some estimates for Q1 using the Atlanta Fed data, GDP Now, also Nowcasting from New York, and also the St. Louis Fed. We're kind of around the 1.9 to 2% in the first quarter. Now, they don't have projections actually out for the rest of the year, but we certainly can see this growth continuing as long as the job market stays strong. And we've had a good jobs market for the better part of 2.5 years, right? So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So why did the markets rally? Because they were looking for an excuse for buyers to step on in. We did have a bit of a pullback on a couple of occasions over the last 2 weeks. Some nasty moves down, but of course, let's remember something. The S&P 500 is at a new all-time high here, over 5,200. So big moves are going to happen, and you're going to feel it, right? Unless the S&P 500 splits, which is not going to happen. 5,300, a 25 handle move is only 0.5%. It's less than 0.5% actually on a 5,200 priced index. So the Dow Industrials made a new all-time high. So did the NASDAQ. The Dow Industrials actually this morning ticking up above 40,000 for the first time, Dow Futures. And if we open up here, we will likely be above 40,000 for the first time. NASDAQ making a run towards 20,000. I think it's going to happen probably pretty soon. First off, we got 19,000. And of course, the S&P 500 at a new all-time high yesterday at about 52.24. If we open up right here, we'll be opening up at around 52, close to 52.50 on the S&P 500. So some good things happening here, of course, with the S&P 500 and the rest of the markets. Russell 2000 lagging behind here. But be aware of this. If interest rates on the long end continue to fall, and we've seen interest rates dropping steadily lower and bond buyers starting to come back, we see the long end of the curve starting to go down. We're below 4.3% now. If we head towards 4%, you're going to see some major rallying from the small caps. So the Russell 2000 is going to benefit from lower interest rates. So keep an eye on that. Gold, real strong this morning, up over 2%, $45 up real strong. Crude oil down a little bit here, about 20 cents. But this is a big move for gold. At intraday high, the old intraday high was 22.03. We're at 22.06 right now in the gold future. So this is something that we've been discussing a lot lately with higher inflation in the economy here right now. We still have a little bit of nagging inflation, which we've seen from the past couple inflation reports. The CPI and the PPI both came in hot in the last 2 months for January and February. And inflation is strong. You're going to see gold also strong as well too. Plus the fact that the markets did hit all-time highs, we often see gold moving sharply higher towards those new highs as well too, to join the rest of the indices. So we had earnings last night from Micron, which were super strong, and we actually had some of those calls. I bought some of those yesterday. I wanted to show you that here. You can see from the chat room here. If you were in the chat room, you would have known about this, right? If you're not in the chat room, sorry, but you can see here that yesterday, with about 13 minutes to go in the day, small ad on the Micron May 100 calls at about $6. And if you can look over here to the left, you can see Micron up about $17 from the close yesterday. So these May 100 calls probably going to be about $15, $16. It's going to be a nice 250% winner on that play. So that's good. And we also added some QQQ calls after the close. You can see I added some ASML. That is actually ticking up higher as well too. So if you're not in the chat room, I have to ask you this question: why not? Why not? Chat room is the place to be, and a lot of the people in the chat room know what I'm talking about. So let's talk a little bit about the markets over here. Again, we see the futures ticking up higher, a little bit up 26 handles here. The NASDAQ up about almost 1%. Let's take a look at the oscillators here for a minute. And the oscillators had a big turn yesterday upwards. We've seen good, strong breadth for the last few days. Not great breadth on Tuesday and Monday, but better breadth, and I'll show you better breadth in the action in the indices. So, and then yesterday we had a really super strong breadth, and you can see here over on the left-hand side here, 21 to 6, almost 22 to 6 on the advanced decliner. So that is more than 3.5 to 1 route of the bears on Wednesday. And so that was enough to turn the oscillators right back up again. If we get up to this 100 level, that might be a spot on the NASDAQ, 100, 150, or maybe 100 or 150 on the New York Stock Exchange. We get back up to those levels, that might be an area to start trimming back and pulling back and adding some puts, perhaps even just selling some positions and raising some cash. But look at the SPY chart, this daily chart that I have up here for the past year or so. Once we hit this bottom in October at about 417 or so on the SPY, now we're up over 100 points on the S&P 500, the SPY, in the past 5 months since October. So November, December, January, February, March, and the latter part of October. So it's been quite a ride here, and of course driven by names like NVIDIA, Microsoft, not so much Apple, Amazon, Supermicro, of course. It's been a wild play, and some biotech names as well too. So it'll be interesting to watch the action today and tomorrow. Next week, of course, don't forget we have a short week, right? Markets are closed on Friday. Next Friday, March 29th, is Good Friday. Markets will be closed the whole entire day. I'm not sure about the bond market. I think bond market may be open, but certainly the equity markets will be closed. So we'll only have 4 days. And don't forget, options expire on Thursday, the 28th. It makes sense, right? Because the markets are closed on the 29th. So if you're playing weekly options or futures and so forth, you've got to close those out on Thursday before the market closes. A couple of charts I want to share with you as well too. This is a weekly chart that I share with the Street Pro portfolio members on the Street Pro. This is a weekly chart of the S&P 500, and you can see we had a couple of dojis in a row last week and the week before, and it looked as if we were going to break this channel that I drew in here. This is a weekly chart again. And again, at some point, these levels are going to be tested, these lower levels. But for now, this purple line, broken dotted line, is good support, much lower. But you can see the market is continuing to move higher, and we've had a good week so far. And again, we can probably stretch this out here. and make a higher. We've made a higher low and a higher high in this indicator. So where could we get going? Let's just stretch out the top part of this channel, right? And it looks like we have a little bit more room to go to the upside. I don't know where that level is. It could be about 5,300, 5,350. But this channel is certainly giving you opportunities to get in and get out. Now, a lot of people look at this and say, hey, Bob, you know what? That is just a narrowing wedge. Okay. And, you could be right here. But, here's the thing is that we don't use technical analysis as a timing tool. In other words, we observe patterns, make an interpretation of those, and recognize whether they're bullish or bearish, and we go with those trends because momentum is strong. We're not here to try and tell the markets what to do or tell the markets to slow down or say, look, I don't know when the markets are gonna fall, but I'm gonna call it right now. We don't do that. What we do is we look at patterns like this and we follow along with them until they don't work any longer. That's all. That's all we do as technicians here is pattern recognition. It's not trying to call a top or not trying to call a bottom. I wrote a big article about that last weekend. Take a look at it. It's on the website, explosiveoptions.net. It's also been across a lot of social media networks as well too. But the point is that you could have looked at this channel and tried to call a top at any point in time, right? And bailed out. And what would end up happening? You would end up buying back the market or any positions at higher prices, right? So the thing about it is that along the way you do have to take some profits, but the point here is that we're not here to time the markets. We're here to understand what the markets are doing and move along with the price action. And when it fails, when it's done, we'll take a position on the other side, unbiased, right? So that's that. I'm looking at a couple of names as well too. This one's on my radar screen today. BX is Blackstone, and you can see the stock has built a really nice base here, carved the right side of the base over here, but had a strong day yesterday on pretty good volume. We'll see if it follows through today. I'd like to see that follow through to the upside. I'm also looking at STX, which is going to benefit from, it's a terrible looking chart actually. It's down about 13-14% from the recent highs. It had a big shot higher at the end of February, pulled right back down in March, and now it may start moving right back upwards again, thanks to the strong earnings from Micron. WDC, Western Digital, also in that same area, disk drives and so forth. So this stock may actually get a run. This is actually a much better looking shape. You can see the pattern of higher highs, higher lows, textbook pattern of an uptrend, and we might get a move right back up towards those mid 60 levels on Western Dig. I'm also looking to roll some of those Micron calls that I bought yesterday, roll them up probably up to the 115 area for April or May. I'm also looking at, we have some Meta 500 and 505 calls. And again, this stock is probably going to open up sharply higher today. You can see that the stock's up about $7 here in the pre-market. So I'm looking to probably roll that one higher. That's a great looking chart as well too. It gapped up on the earnings last time around in early February, and it hasn't looked back. And then the last stock I'll be looking, last two I'll be looking at, AMD, which is a stock that came down, pulled all the way down to the 50-day moving average. Certainly, competitors like Intel with some positive news recently, and then NVIDIA with some positive news have hurt AMD. But you can see that the stock had a huge shooting star here a couple of weeks ago, right up to 225 and fell right back. And what does that mean? What is a shooting star? Simply put, the stock makes a high and it gets rejected up there. It's just not finding any buyers above that 210 level. And then once it fell down below there, gapped lower, it's looking for buyers all the way down. So I think this is 50-day moving average probably is a good spot to add a position here on AMD. I'm not going to get married to it, of course, but this is a stock that that really can fire when it if it finds some support over here at the 50-day moving average. Is it going to go back to 220s? Probably not. I don't even need that to make some good money on the stock. Stock's at 179, 180. I don't need it to go up $50 for me to make money. I just need it to go up a little bit. And again, once this stock moves with some strength and some momentum and some buying power, we can get a move back up to 200. Listen, those 180, 185 calls would be looking really attractive right there. So that's it. I'm going to lay it down over here today. Don't forget, March Madness starts. That's the reason why I played that song by Madness today, Our House. And I'm very excited about the tournament getting started today. Lots of basketball today and tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. So it's going to be a fabulous basketball weekend. And then we got sports with the Sweet 16 coming up next week and the Elite Eight. So it's going to be a wonderful weekend. Root for your team. My team, of course, San Diego State. We're hopefully going to make a run to the Sweet 16 again, and maybe to the Final Four like we did last year. And don't forget to fill out your brackets. Bracket. Beat Bob Lang. So we have a bracket challenge over here. It's free to get in. Go to the website. The pop-up is still there, and a great first prize, whole year of total access. Second prize, 6 months. Third prize, 3 months of total access. So some really, really great prizes. Over I got $6,000 worth of prizes here, so it's really, really nice. And if your bracket comes in higher than me, then you win a free month of the chat room. But I'm telling you, I'm gonna beat everybody this year. So it says entries are closed, but we'll maybe we can get some more people in there this year. So anyhow, thanks everyone. Have a great day. I appreciate all of you spending a little bit of time with me. Let's talk on Monday. We'll be back talk about the things, anything over the weekend, discuss any activity from today and Friday as well too, and enjoy your weekend. Hopefully it'll be a little bit warmer out. We're in spring now, so time for the better weather. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you guys all on Monday.